we're technically in the fintech space, the HR tech space, and the travel space.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunities. And when we started onboarding our clients, what was interesting, and I always tell people, if anything, relate to the employee benefits party because it's evolved so much over the last 10 years. The only thing that really supports us and our growth is that our clients came back to us and said, we've never seen an employee benefit get over 80% opt-in before.
I believe it. I believe it. As a former CEO myself, having run a couple of $40 million companies, I was always amazed. You know, HR would come to me and say, hey, we're gonna roll out this thing for the employees, and nobody would sign up. I mean, nobody cared. Like nobody would bother to care, whatever it was, right? Maybe it was a program to help you buy a car, or maybe it was a free gym membership or whatever we tried to roll out. People are just like, you know, they just didn't. Yeah. So, wow, 80% reaction to it from it. That's huge.
And that means that doesn't mean they're creating an account. That means they have chosen to direct a portion of their paycheck into their vacation fund on a biweekly or semi-monthly basis.
That's more, that's more proof of concept for you, knowing that you're onto something right there. Bingo.
Exactly. Okay. Well, and when we started looking at this, we said, okay, well, this is one of the, why is this happening? And this is one of the few things that, regardless of age, gender, income bracket, marital status, stage of life, no matter who you are, everyone's expected to take some time off at some point throughout the year. And if your company could help you use that time off a little bit better, that's wonderful. And so from an employee's perspective, it's, why wouldn't I sign up for more free money and this forced savings tool?
Why wouldn't I? I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, all right. So now it's 2020. Gosh, I almost forgot.
Oh gosh.
So 2019, you're now, give us a kind of like, all right, to date, like right now, as the company stands now, give us kind of an up-to-date version of where you're at.
Yeah. So we have clients, both American and Canadian clients, which is helpful.
Okay.
Right now, what we're working on, so one of our investors actually runs LinkedIn Canada.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
One of his lines to me, whether I should be sharing this or not, was, Erica, I actually don't care about your targets this year. I care about how do you make vacation fund so impactful to a company's culture, so a part of a company's culture that once they start offering it, they would never want to take it away. Right?
Yep.
And so from our perspective, we said, okay, so how can we keep adding this value? And it took us all of 2019, because basically if you have full-time salaried employees, they can sign up for vacation fund. So it was really difficult for us to figure out, okay, companies of any size can do this. Who do we want to target? And all of 2019, it basically took us all of 2019 to discover the two biggest reasons why companies were buying.
Okay.
The first reason is just a employer branding play, a talent attraction play, a perception play. How can we show people that we're a forward-thinking company?
All right.
They can live a great life and work for our company. It was one company in particular said, I use this for campus recruiting. Great. Now candidates hadn't heard about our company before. When we tell them we have a vacation fund, now they're interested.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was an employer branding play for some. For others, they actually have an employee burnout problem. They have an underused vacation day problem. They have people that are incredibly ambitious, and that's wonderful, but people need to know that it's actually an expectation to use vacation days because burnout is actually happening, and because people are being impacted. 60% of short-term disability claims right now are for mental health.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that stat. Wow. Okay.
And that's the kind of thing that's so hard to prove. So a lot of those claims actually get denied.
I see. Wow.
And so some companies have said, look, like sometimes people just need a minute. And so we don't actually force people to spend their money with one specific travel provider. We say, okay, we go to a company and say, how do you want this? How do you want us to monitor the spend of these funds? And most companies have said, look, as long as people use at least 2 vacation days in a row and the money goes towards something that helps them rest or experience something new, that's great. That's great. We added some value to their lives. That's all we care about.
I see. Okay. Now, can I ask you this? If I'm the CEO and, you pitch me, well, Riderflex, we're only like 15 people today, but if we had 120 employees at Riderflex, how would you, my first question as a CEO would be, how much does this cost?
Yeah, absolutely. So we turned it into a tiered subscription model for companies 3 to 20 people, we charge $60 a month. Generally it ends up coming out as you go up the size range, generally comes out to between $2 and $6 per employee per month.
Oh,
the bigger
yeah, that's okay.
It's minimal.
That's minimal.
The the bigger challenge, especially as the organizations get larger, is trying to sell them on this concept that, hey, you should now allocate budget towards employees' vacation fund.
I see. Okay.
Because we have a client that matches $5 a paycheck towards employees' vacation fund. So employees have to put aside $10, at least $10, and they'll get $5 towards their vacation fund. That's fine. We did see below 80% opt-in at that company because employees were like, is this enough to convince me to change my habits? So we've now recommended that companies start matching at least $10 a paycheck. We have companies asking, can I contribute on a rewards basis or a recognition basis or a milestones basis? That's fine as well. But if a company, especially if a company is actually trying to change people's habits and show that they really need people to prioritize taking some time off, then there's this recommendation to do the matching.